Well, many of us are counting down until retirement, but how's that nest egg looking? Here sponsoring our segment this afternoon is founder of Rooted Wealth Advisors, Zach Gray is back with us. All right, Zach, what exactly is it that you do?
That's what my wife asks me all the time. I don't know. So at Rooted Wealth Advisors, we believe in, number one, I think helping you live your best life and your best retirement. And I say that because it's our hope that we show up differently, right? We show up differently in that space. I think so many times, when you think of wealth advisor, it's typically a conversation only around investments. And for us, we think that that's important. I mean, the idea of understanding your risk and your fees and all of that is extremely, extremely important. But Heather, I think that it's a much more domino effect, thinking through, hey, in retirement especially, where are we going to get the money, right? Income planning and strategizing there, looking at the investment side of things, what needs to change, how can we best grow our money? Taxes, we'll talk a little bit about that today, but I think that's a missing link. I mean, if ultimately we can just keep more in our pocket, right, in your purse, that's a good day. And then I think thinking through legacy. And for legacy, for us, is a little bit of healthcare, some estate pieces alongside, but really those components, those what we kind of call 5 worlds, if you will, are really important. And at Rooted Wealth Advisors, we think that needs to be a part of someone's plan.
Tell me a little bit about what the accumulation phase is.
The accumulation phase, yeah. So we were chatting about that off camera, and I think that that's the point that we're building, right? It's this idea that, hey, we're stacking dollars away and we're accumulating them. And I think that is still extremely important, that we think through all those components that we just mentioned, right? I mean, what could be those disrupting factors? Maybe healthcare is a little different. It maybe is more disability concerns or things like that while we're working. It's going to change, though, at a certain point, and it's no longer accumulation. It's retirement, which is distribution for us. And so really thinking through, hey, that accumulation phase is how can we best save? And I think, once again, we have to understand where maybe is this puck going. That's extremely important. When do we want to retire? How do we want to retire? How much money do we need when we retire? What other cash flows might we have? Social Security, do we have a pension? All of those things, it's really great to put a plan together while in that accumulation phase, because the pressure is on in that distribution phase.
Yeah, okay, you obviously have a passion for what you do. Where does that come from?
So I went to college here at the University of Illinois on a football scholarship, and I actually have an education degree, but alongside it, I decided to pair along finance. And the reason for that was really watching my grandparents retire right around the turn of the century. Or at least maybe stumble into some concerns right around the turn of the century. My grandfather, love him dearly. Gramps is what we passionately refer to him as. Great guy. But he had his wife, my grandma Marilyn, needing long-term care for about 18 years, and he had to pay for that out of pocket. And that was towards the beginning portion of that. And I could see, like, boy, that really changed his thinking process when it came to making sure that he took care of that bill, that concern. And I think that's awesome that he did take care of those things and he took care of his family and his wife. But I really saw, like, boy, that could be something that would really disrupt the fun, the golden years that you want to have. Even my Granny Joyce, great gal, raised her kids pretty much on her own and did all of that, saved for retirement, and then got to that point. And her second husband, Howie, great guy, he passed away shortly thereafter retirement. And he also needed long-term care. But I think what folks don't always look at is, what does this look like for a married couple versus a single person? What's that look like for cash flows, like 2 Social Security checks versus just 1? And boy, I tell you, it really left a mark with me. And I thought, somewhat selfishly, Heather, I don't want to be in that spot myself. So I need to be thinking through this. And it led down a path to help others really plan well for their retirement, and thus been involved in the business for 20 plus years. Rooted's been around for a long time, and it's been great. And
you have lots of services that you provide. I think we have a look at some of those there on the screen for what you do and how you can help people, from income planning all the way down to asset protection there. But real quickly, tell me a little bit about your tax reduction report, which you are offering out to people who may need help.
Yeah, as we wrap here, I think that's a really important piece, is to think through, once again, again, it's not about necessarily how much you have, it's how much you keep. And I know we referenced that earlier. I'm a real big believer in that. We've got a lot going on here this fall with politics, maybe changing of some of what that looks like, maybe just sunsetting back to what we had for some old tax policy. It's really important that you understand with your hard-earned money how to keep as much of it as you can. Go to taxreductionreport.com. It'd be something I'd love to get in every viewer's hands.
Okay, very good. Well, we appreciate you coming and sharing that with us. And if you want to learn more about Zach and his team there at Rooted Wealth Advisors, maybe get your hands on your own tax reduction report that we're seeing there on the screen. We'll connect you with him and all of the information you need to know at our website, ciLiving.tv. We do appreciate them sponsoring our segment this afternoon.